Yamish, good to see you.
Hi, good. Thanks for taking the question.
Sure.
The president showed a video that he said showed more than 1,000 burial sites of white South Africans that he said were murdered. We know that that was not true and that the video wasn't showing that. So I wonder, why did the president choose to show that?
What's not true, Yamish?
It's not true that the video was showing a burial site. It is unsubstantiated that that's the case.
No, it is true that that video showed the crosses that represent.
Which is what the president claimed.
The video showed images of crosses in South Africa about white farmers who have been killed and politically persecuted because of the color of their skin.
The president
And those
claimed
crosses
that it
are
was showing a
representing their
burial
lives. Those crosses are representing their lives in the fact that they are now dead and their government did nothing about it. Are you disputing that there's no...
I'm disputing the fact that the video showed what the president claimed it showed, because it did not show that. But even more, what I'm asking you is who at the White House...
No, it did show that. It showed white crosses representing people who have perished because of racial persecution.
Verifies the videos that the president shows, and what protocols are in place when there's unsubstantiated information being put out for the world and world leaders to show?
Yamish, what's unsubstantiated about the video? The video shows crosses that represent the dead bodies of people who were racially persecuted by their government. In fact, the Associated Press, of all places, has a picture of that very monument, and the caption from the Associated Press is, "Each cross marks a white farmer who has been killed in a farm murder." So it is substantiated, not just by that video and the physical evidence that everybody saw on display in the Oval Office, but also by another outlet in this room, the Associated Press. So you should take it up with them if you believe the claim is unsubstantiated, and that's a ridiculous line of questioning.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so yeah, that was a ridiculous line of questioning. Folks, this is what your corporate press has become. They're trying to delineate between a memorial and a grave. Like, are you freaking kidding me with this? This is why we have so many Trump deranged people out there in this world, right? Now, I'm not blaming everything on the corporate press, although you can blame 99% on the corporate press. Because some people just don't like Trump because he's a rich billionaire. And we know there's these people out there that think because you're successful, because you have money, that you should be hated, that you're not human, you're subhuman, and we should go after you any and every way we can. There are people that believe that, and I think those people are scumbags, in my personal opinion. That's just my personal opinion. But this is what our corporate press has become, folks. They will take a statement from the President of the United States, and if it isn't 100% completely perfect, they're going to go in and say, oh no, this is fake news. Then write up this big story debunking what Donald Trump says, right? Making you think that, oh, all this genocide stuff over there in South Africa, that's just not happening whatsoever. They take words and rearrange them around and make you think a complete and total lie. This is how we have people still out there believing that the Emir of Qatar gave Donald Trump a 747 jet to be turned into Air Force One. This is how we have people, right? This is how we have people still, till this day, that still believe that Donald Trump called neo-Nazis very fine people. It's ridiculous, folks. It's like the bloodbath hoax. Joe Biden ran his campaign on a hoax. Think about that for a second. Think about what we got going on with our corporate press. Speaking of that whole Joe Biden debacle.
Well, that's so many things. Number one is, I think a lot of us are kind of shocked and we're in the dark. I wrote a column about like, oh, this is all kind of like made up, like that they're trying to present him as a weaker candidate because of political reasons, and to find out later that that was not true, that I, as a journalist, was also part of that ecosystem of people questioning the motives, is really, really hard for a lot of people who did not, believed Joe Biden's a good guy, but also just did not want this guy, right? That anything was better than Donald Trump, because even if Joe Biden is declining, he's not trying to destroy the country. Cannot say the same for the person who is now in the White House. And so that is, for a lot of us, I think, really hard pill to swallow. But I think you have to swallow. I think that is one of the things that I think separates people of honor, is that you can understand the new information and make a change. I think that is really important for a lot of Democrats to do, at the same time as saying anything but this guy who's in the White House right now.
Folks, let me tell it to you like this. You do not hate the corporate media enough. You really don't. These people, they are finally now coming out and telling us outright, okay, we saw the decline. We did not care. We did not care. We chose to ignore what was going on with Joe Biden and continue to push him forward because we were scared of Donald Trump. And look at what we've got now, folks. Holy crap. America is back. The economy is about to get ramped up. The big, beautiful bill passed. And I know a lot of people are kind of butthurt about that. And some people are cheering for it. Some people are butthurt. I don't think it had enough spending cuts personally. But once again, I'm in the camp of, we can't just do it all at once. I would like to have saw more, but hey, it is what it is. This is what we've got. This is what we're running with. But you do not dislike our corporate press enough, folks. These people do not care. They will lie to serve an agenda. That is what you just heard on that video. Lie to serve an agenda. We did not care that Joe Biden was declining. We just really did not want Donald Trump to win the presidency. That's what they told you, folks. But let's get into some news, because I didn't read any freaking news yesterday, so we need to read some news, folks. Check this out. In a hard transition, if you will, ICE agents wait in hallways of immigration court as Trump seeks to deliver on mass arrest pledge. Now, what we have right here, folks, is a lie, just once again, because like I said the other day, and I'll say this in every video when immigration comes up, Donald Trump has not deported a single immigrant. That is right. I know what you might be thinking, but it's the God's honest truth. Look it up. Donald Trump has not deported any immigrants whatsoever. He's only deported criminal aliens. We must delineate between those two things, because those two things are vastly different. Because immigrants, these are people that choose to go to a port of entry or choose to go to the embassy in their own nation, get a visa, get a green card, whatever that may be, choose to come to this country through the legal process. These people that are being deported, right? Donald Trump can't deport immigrants if they're in the country legally. He's not going to. He doesn't want to. He wants legal immigration, as a matter of fact. Right? Because Trump's a moderate. Once again, he's not some hard right Hitler orange guy. He's a moderate. He's a 90s Democrat, for goodness sakes. I know you people, did you like Bill Clinton Democrats? Yeah. That's what you got with Donald Trump. Maybe a little bit further to the right. Maybe just a little bit. But not much. But this is what we got. He hasn't deported a single immigrant. It's all criminal aliens. It's all people that circumvent our process by which you come in. And the Democrats over here screaming about, well, they're not getting due process. They chose to circumvent the due process on their way in. Do you think they deserve it on their way out? They do not, folks. But once again, Donald Trump is not deporting immigrants. So remember that when you read the news, when you hear the corporate press talking about immigrants and they just want a better life and now they're being rounded up and disappeared into a black van. And yeah, those aren't people that were just living their lives, for goodness sakes. They chose to circumvent and break our laws. Chose to circumvent the process by which we allow people to come into this country. They chose this path. Has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Donald Trump is just enforcing the laws, for goodness sakes. Let's get into it, though. Juan Serrano, a 28-year-old Colombian migrant, criminal alien, you mean, with no criminal record, attended a hearing in immigration court in Miami on Wednesday for what he thought would be a quick check-in. The musty glass-paneled courthouse sees hundreds of such hearings every day. Most last less than 5 minutes and end with a judge ordering those who appear to return in 2 years' time to plead their case against deportation. So it came as a surprise when, rather than set a future court date, government attorneys asked to drop the case. You're free to go, Judge Monica Newman told Serrano. You're free to go. That is right. Except he really wasn't. That is also correct. Waiting for him as he exited the small courtroom were 5 federal agents who cuffed him against the wall, escorted him to the garage, and whisked him away in a van, along with a dozen other migrants detained the same day. Once again, that was a lie, folks. That was a lie. No, this guy got arrested, but he's not a migrant. They did not detain any migrants at all. Those are all criminal aliens. Those are all people who decided to circumvent CBP, circumvent Border Patrol and all that, try to evade those forces to come into this country illegally. That's what those people did. What do you mean he doesn't have a criminal record? Oh, because he never got caught. That's why. He entered the country illegally and was never caught. One of the gotaways, if you will. There's millions of those in this country, by the way. It's funny. This is hilarious. I love how the corporate press just blatantly lies, right? I mean, if what they were saying was completely true, yeah, that'd be kind of a bad situation. However, what they don't tell you is these people, they are not our friends, folks. They are not coming here to have a better life. They are coming here purposely to circumvent the process. They weren't the only ones. Across the United States in immigration courts from New York to Seattle this week, Homeland Security officials are ramping up enforcement actions in what appears to be a coordinated dragnet, testing out new legal levers deployed by President Donald Trump's administration to carry out mass arrests. While Trump campaigned on a pledge of mass removals of what he calls illegals. What do you mean what he calls illegals? Oh, okay, so the technical legal name is criminal aliens. So there you go. That's what he means by illegals. They're criminal aliens. He struggled to carry out his plans amid a series of lawsuits, the refusal of some foreign governments to take back their nationals, and a lack of detention facilities to house migrants. But once again, folks, as the corporate press always does, they always leave out pertinent information to build your worldview, for goodness sakes, right? That's what people need. They need all of the information when receiving the news. In the corporate press, they just don't give you that information, folks. They forgot to tell you that these activist judges are actively trying to stop the administration from enforcing the laws of this country. That is what is going on. They are doing everything they can. And once these court cases make it to the Supreme Court, aside from a couple, like the Alien Enemies Act, which I still don't understand why the Supreme Court, ruled in the way that they did, but it is what it is. The Supreme Court is scared of the left as well. But, they don't give you all the information. It's these judges that have actually prevented the mass deportation operation. It's not just these things. These are all minor setbacks amid a series of lawsuits. That's the information that they gave you to tell you about all the activist judges that are actively halting the administration from doing this. A series of lawsuits. Do you think that sums up that information? It does not. Arrests are extremely rare in or immediately near immigration courts, which are run by the Justice Department. When they have occurred, it was usually because the individual was charged with a criminal offense or their asylum claim had been denied. Yes, but it doesn't have to be that way. All this is to accelerate detentions and expedite removals, said immigration attorney Wilfredo Allen, who has represented migrants at the Miami court for decades. Yes, that's exactly what's going on here. That's exactly what's going on here. Get these people out of the country as quickly as possible. Dismissal orders came down this week, officials say. 3 U.S. immigration officials said government attorneys were given the order to start dismissing cases when they showed up for work Monday, knowing full well that federal agents would then have a free hand to arrest those same individuals as soon as they stepped out of the courtroom. All spoke on the condition of anonymity because they feared losing their jobs. Well, these people, once again, it sounds to me that they're trying to give the corporate press a gotcha to get Donald Trump. Oh, look at what evil orange man is doing over here. Those people should be fired, as a matter of fact. Not because they gave this information out. No, I love this information. Thank you, people, for doing that. But it sounds to me that these people do not like their job. They do not want to be deporting criminal aliens. So they don't care about the laws of this country. That is what our law is. You have to uphold and enforce the law. Otherwise, you do not have a country, folks. That is how the law is supposed to work. AP reporters on Wednesday witnessed detentions and arrests or spoke to attorneys whose clients were picked up at immigration courthouses in Los Angeles, Phoenix, New York, Seattle, Chicago, and Texas. Yes, all over the damn place. The latest effort includes people who have no criminal records, migrants with no legal representation, and people who are seeking asylum, according to reports received by the American Immigration Lawyers Association, known as AILA. Now, most of that is not true, as we've already said before, because these people are not migrants. They all, unless they evaded, CBP or anything like that, they all have a criminal record because they broke the law to come into the country. If you don't have any legal representation, then yes, of course you're going to get booted out. People who are seeking asylum. While detentions have been happening over the past few months, on Tuesday, the number of reports skyrocketed, said Vanessa Torres, Practice and Policy Counsel at AILA. In the case of Serrano in Miami, the request for dismissal was delivered by a government attorney who spoke without identifying herself on the record. So, when the AP asked for the woman's name, she refused and hastily exited the courtroom past one of the groups of plainclothes federal agents stationed throughout the building. The Justice Department's Executive Office for Immigration Review, which oversees immigration courts, referred questions to the Department of Homeland Security. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, which is part of Homeland Security, said in a statement that it was detaining people who are subject to fast-track deportation authority. Yeah, that's expedited removal, by the way, which is great. Outside the Miami courthouse on Wednesday, a Cuban man was waiting for one last glimpse of his 22-year-old son. Here we go with the heartstring tugging again. And what they don't realize is those heartstrings, they're not connected to anything anymore, folks. Do you care about a Cuban man that was waiting on his son? That's what this is, by the way. Let's get into it and we'll see if you care. And let me know down in the comments section. Fascinating. Initially, when his son's case was dismissed, his father assumed it was a first positive step toward legal residency, but the hoped-for reprieve quickly turned into a nightmare. I think they meant to put he hoped for a reprieve, but it quickly turned into a nightmare. I don't know why but the hoped for reprieve. I don't understand that, but it's a typo. It happens. Folks, don't admonish the corporate press. It's a typo. My whole world came crashing down, said the father, breaking down in tears. The man, who asked not to be identified for fear of arrest, described his son as a good kid who rarely left his Miami home except to go to work. Now, once again, folks, this is another person who clearly entered the country illegally. Should we shed a single freaking tear for these people? No, I'm sorry. Because when you bypass our process by which there is a pathway to come into this country illegally and set yourself up and have a better life, if you choose to circumvent that process, that means you don't care about that path. That means you don't care about our laws. Why do we want you here if you do not care about our laws? That's what I say. What do you say? But that's just me. We thought coming here was a good thing, he said of his son's court appearance. Yeah, it is a good thing, because we need to round you people up and boot you the F out of our country. I'm sorry, I just don't understand this idea that people think that you can just walk into this country and set up shop and everything's fine, right? If we don't know you're here, that means you're not paying taxes. And Democrats are insane. They really are, because that's what they want. They don't care about these people paying taxes. They don't care about these people having a better life for themselves, for goodness sakes. All they want is the numbers, folks. That's what they want. When the census comes around, these people can be counted on the census, and that gives Democrats more power simply because, oh, we're a sanctuary state. Tell all these criminal aliens, hey, come to our state, please. We got incentives. We'll put you on Medicaid. We'll put you on Medicare. We'll give you a Social Security number. Blah, blah, blah. We'll give you a debit card when you come in. And we'll set you up in a hotel until you can get some sort of residency going on. This is what Democrats do just to build their numbers for the census so they can derive more power from that census, folks. Because that's where congressional seats are appropriated from, is the numbers of people, not numbers of citizens, which is insane outright. Also, this also affects presidential elections as well, because that's where the electoral numbers come from as well. It's based on population, not citizenry, which is also insane. It's easy to figure this stuff out, folks. This is why Democrats pretend to care about this. But they really don't care. All you got to do is look at Martha's Vineyard for that. Oh, what happens when 50 migrants show up in Martha's Vineyard? Oh, well, hang on, the news cameras are here. Let's pretend that we like these people, and oh, we're aghast. And as soon as the cameras leave, oh, hang on, the National Guard came and took those people off. Yeah. That's what they think about these people. So all this rigmarole that they're raising the roof about, yeah, it's all for show. It's all political theater, folks. Don't let these manipulators manipulate you into thinking that the vast majority of Americans are okay with people circumventing our process, circumventing the actual line to come into this country. Because, yeah, they're also taking a dump on those people as well. Because the people that choose to do it the proper way, the people that actually want to come here for a better life and want to melt into the pot, those people are getting screwed by these people. Just outright. Antonio Ramos, an immigration attorney with an office next to the Miami courthouse, said the government's new tactics are likely to have a chilling effect in Miami's large migrant community, discouraging otherwise law-abiding individuals from showing up to their court appearances for fear of arrest. So what? Once again, folks, once again, these people need to go. If you don't care about our laws, I'm not going to say it again, but these people need to go. That's a good idea. Get these people out of here, for goodness sakes. People are going to freak out like never before, he said. Good. Do it. Freak out. As a matter of fact, leave. Get out of here. It's a fascist nation, by the way. Go ahead. We got a fascist over here in charge. You might want to get out of here. Leave for fear of persecution, for goodness sakes. This is just ridiculous, y'all, but I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comment section. This blows my mind and I love it. Y'all don't forget to smash that like button for me. Subscribe if you're new around here. Hey, sign up, become a member. Help me help you deliver the news. Or read the news, for goodness sakes. And figure out how you're being manipulated by the corporate press. Because that's what we do around here. But y'all share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. And that's all I got, y'all. Like I said, y'all let me know what y'all think. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.